those of you watching on ABC, welcome. The Spanish language ESPN Deportes broadcast is available via the SAP function on your remote. Super Bowl 51 will be played here next season, and the playoff road to Super Bowl 50 begins on the home field for Bill O'Brien. 5 years of assisting with the Patriots. He called the plays in Super Bowl 46, today's first NFL playoff game as a head coach. On the other side, Andy Reid. Only Bill Belichick among active NFL head coaches has coached in more playoff games. This is Andy's 21st. You heard some Chiefs fans at the end of the national anthem, but there are a ton of Texans fans. This is the NFL's first retractable roof stadium. The roof is closed. It is going to be loud with 71,000 ready to roar. Houston has won the toss, deferred, so Kansas City will receive, and Alex Smith, Jeremy Maclin, the Chiefs see J.J. Watt on the field first. Nick Novak to kick it. 12 teams living the dream. The 11 best games of the year to crown one champion. Off we go with the playoffs. And Knile Davis will bring it out from 6 deep. Davis across the 50. Davis is gone! Knile Davis starts the playoffs with a bang! 106 yards, touchdown Chiefs! Whoa!
Well blocked, Mike. That's one way to shut the crowd out. An opening 105-yard return by Knile Davis, and Andy Reid loves it. Watch Knile Davis pick up a couple blocks. 32 Ware, 84 Harris, Spring Davis, and you will not catch Knile Davis in the open air.
Knile Davis, John, had a 108-yard kickoff return, a Chiefs record against Denver in the regular season in 2013, but with one of the longest plays in playoff history for 106 yards. He starts the playoffs with a bang. Brazilian-born kicker Cairo Santos kicks the extra point. So very much like their regular season game, where there was an early mistake by the Texans and the Chiefs scored a touchdown. Houston's digging out of a hole right away in just 11 seconds.
Kansas City Chiefs have started fast in the last 3 weeks. Andy Reid's offense has scored on their opening possession. That time, his special teams deliver. And what a road team Andy Reid's Chiefs have been during this 10-game winning streak, Mike.
The opening kickoff taken back for a touchdown in a playoff game. It's just the 5th time it's happened. You might remember the last, it was Devin Hester in the Super Bowl. And those special teams for the Bears and all those records for Devin Hester, authored by Dave Tobe, an outstanding special teams coordinator. He's the special teams coordinator for the Chiefs and gets Knile Davis off to the races and gets the playoffs started with a KC touchdown. There is one of the best in the business. Add one more line to his resume.
And give Knile Davis credit, Mike. He was supposed to fill in for Jamal Charles. He's taken a back seat. All he can do is contribute on special teams. What a play by Davis.
Now Santos with the kickoff. This is one way to avoid a kick return for a touchdown, kicking 9 deep, and it's a touchback. So already down 7-0, Brian Hoyer has to come out. Undrafted out of Michigan State. It was Tom Brady's backup. But kid born in Cleveland, he had the dream. He wanted to be like Bernie Kosar, and he had the opportunity. Started for his hometown team, the Browns, and he won 10 games in 2 years. But then he was bumped by Johnny Manziel mania. Last we saw Manziel was a blonde wig in a casino in Las Vegas. Now we see Hoyer starting a playoff game for the Houston Texans. Jonathan Grimes is in there as a receiver. Comes in motion in the first play as he gets to the running back, Alfred Blue. He'll keep the pile going and gain 3 yards. So it's Blue and a variety of backs because Arian Foster is gone. He's been gone most of the year. DeAndre Hopkins is their #1 receiver. I want to watch Nate Washington with a hip injury. And, John, you want to watch the left tackle. Chris Clark is in for Dwayne Brown, who's out.
That's a huge assignment here against Tom Bahali, one of the great pass rushers in Chief history at the bottom of the screen.
Officially blue for 4, 2nd and 6, and Hoyer through the sun to Nate Washington, incomplete. And with the windows here, that angle looks right back in the sun. Be tough for receivers in that spot.
You know, Mike, Brian Hoyer knows this offense extremely well. He's mentally tough. He keeps coming back. But can he do it again? Last time he played the Chiefs, he was booed, benched, and he was beat up by this cheap pass rush. 3rd down and long, you don't want to be here against this defense.
He's the downs with the return of Justin Houston. Great edge rusher can factor in. Pressure comes across the middle. It's incomplete. Looking for Cecil Shorts on the crosser as Hoyer got hit from that heavy pressure. It's 3 and out for Houston.
Hoyer gets hit right as he delivers the ball, but he's got to make these kinds of throws. Tight window completions on possession downs. That time Cecil Shorts can't bring it home. 3 and out. That's 80 times this season the Texans have gone 3 and out.
Shane Leckler's 2nd most yards punting in the history of the NFL. He's got a huge leg still. That one's 53 yards. And here's Frankie Hammond Jr. with a flag down. Hammond finds open space, and Hammond gets all the way to the 45-yard line of the Texans. However, we did say there was a flag down. This one looks to be coming back. Ron Torbert, 2nd year as a referee, 6th year as an NFL official, makes his playoff referee debut.
During the kick, holding, number 30 of the receiving team, 10 yards from the spot of the kick, the end of the kick. Kansas City's ball, 1st down, timeout.
The flag on Fleming negates a 33-yard return. Already up 7-0, Alex Smith takes his first snap. ESPN's NFL Wild Card is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Progressive, comparing rates to help you save. Now that's Progressive. NFL Playoff Challenge. Thought your fantasy season was over? It's not. Play for free at NFL.com/playoff challenge. And Fidelity Investments. NRG Stadium right next to the Astrodome, which is no longer in use. Coverage today from Spider Camp brought to you by DirecTV. That 106-yard kickoff return to start the game by Knile Davis. 2nd longest return in NFL playoff history. Jacoby Jones had the 108-yarder in the Super Bowl for Baltimore. Alex Smith takes over for the Chiefs from their own 13. Smith could throw right away, and that pass is reeled in by his terrific tight end. Travis Kelce's gain is 7 yards. Here's Alex Smith, John, his playoff career. Kansas City 1 game, that big loss after the big lead against Indianapolis. And then with San Francisco, familiar with the postseason, he takes care of the ball.
Very accurate, athletic, and smart. And you're going to see a lot at the line of scrimmage today.
Spencer Ware, the 2nd-year man out of LSU, is the back. He's back in the air again. Is Smith, and it's just a gain of a yard for Albert Wilson. So it is Wilson is one of the receivers. Jeremy Macklin's the other feature man, with Travis Kelce be catching the passes from Smith. And we highlight the center, Zach Fulton. John, in his 2nd year at Tennessee, he starts because Mitch Morse, the rookie center, who started 15 games this year, is out with a concussion.
Keep an eye on the snaps. The accuracy of the snaps and the communication going to be a big issue all day.
Darkandrick West is the running back after that first down was picked up. And they'll throw it out to Kelce with Macklin blocking for him. And he is hit by Jonathan Joseph and knocked back.
You see the quick passes that Andy Reid has used right away. That ball is out of Alex Smith's hands as soon as he gets it. They're going to neutralize the pass rush. J.J. Watt, they must minimize Watt in this game. Use the quick passing game. You'll see some options and bootlegs and a lot of different personnel throughout the game.
Second and 6. That is a zone read keep by Smith. Tackled by Brian Cushing at the yard shot of the first down. What a weapon it is, the running of Smith.
Well, he's going to read the backside. And this is a area we talked about in the pregame, Mike. They run a lot of different kinds of plays. Drop back passes, zone reads, jet sweeps, different personnel groupings. Hard offense to prepare for, and anything goes on 3rd down and 1 with Andy Reid.
Texans haven't been good. They've been great on 3rd down. But usually 3rd and longer than this. This is 3rd and 1, and it's Spencer Ware. He's limited on the game, but he has enough for the 1st down at the 35-yard line. This defense coordinated by Romeo Crennel, so many years around the Patriots, former head coach of the Chiefs as well. He's got Watt, he's got Vince Wilfork up there. Cushing has come back in the middle to really be the quarterback of this defense. And John, we look back at the secondary with Kareem Jackson, Jonathan Joseph, some good corners, but it all centers around J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt and this pass rush. Mercilus at the top of the screen has 12 sacks himself. They got to get after Alex Smith.
A jet sweep, which they use a lot. It's Albert Wilson on this jet sweep. And he'll gain the 1st down out to the 45-yard line. That's what John talked about in Countdown, mixing the West Coast offense with some spread principles.
They're not even going to block J.J. Watt, Mike. They're going to run a jet sweep, and that's one way to drive a defensive end crazy. Quick passes, zone reads, and jet sweeps, taking J.J. Watt away early.
They spotted him just a half-yard shy of the 45, so it is 2nd and less than a yard. Pretty good movement on this drive, and West picks through the pile. It's going to be close. Vince Wilfork was there. Watt was going after the ball, but it's another 1st down for Kansas City. So we told you that Jamal Charles gets hurt. Andy Reid's got to figure out how to replace the 4-time Pro Bowler, and they do it with Charcandrick West, who ran for 634 yards and just got enough before J.J. Watt could get to him there.
Well, West is 210 pounds, very quick, and Ware is 230 pounds, 2 completely different skill sets in the Chief backfield.
And now Ware's the running back for 1st and 10. Smith got away from a would-be sack, but ran into Mercilus, who brings him down. Whitney Mercilus, who's had 2 3.5 sack games this year.
They're coming off a huge game against Jacksonville. Mercilus at the top of the screen, 12 sacks. This is a blitz. Kansas City doesn't pick it up, and Mercilus, with his 2nd effort, puts Kansas City in 2nd down and 13.
You mentioned Mercilus with a great sack season for so many years. We thought Jadeveon Clowney the last 2 years would be that compliment to J.J. Watt. Inactive because of an injury as Clowney left the stadium when he found out he was inactive, but since has come back. Kelce drops that. That's an incomplete pass. It will be 3rd down.
Kansas City's using what I call 13 personnel, 1 back, 3 tight ends, and it minimizes the amount of nickel defense that Romeo Crennel can play. So he is using these tight ends to try to take away a lot of the defense that Romeo Crennel is going to try to get against him today. That time Kelce just dropped the football.
This is where the Texans defense has made its hay the last 6 or 7 games. 3rd and long. They rush 4. Smith has time. He's taking a shot downfield. Breaking free just over the outstretched arms of Albert Wilson. And Alex Smith knows he was a yard away from another touchdown.
Wilson ran right by the rookie, Kevin Johnson, top of your screen. That's an old-fashioned Dino route, a double in. Start to the post, break back to the corner, and hit the post again, and Alex just overthrew Albert Wilson. Would have been 6.
Instead, after 10 plays on a drive that started at their own 13, they punt. And Dustin Colquitt's outstanding at pinning the opposition inside the 10-yard line. Keith Mumphrey is back deep to receive. He's going to run up and grab this one at the 16. Kick of 42 was all net. It was just a bit long from Smith. 2 young stars. Marcus Peters, rookie, led the league in interceptions this year. DeAndre Hopkins, outstanding receiver. They met in week 1.
2 Pro Bowlers. Peters had an interception early in the game to set up a score. And if you keep watching, it was a heck of a battle. And DeAndre Hopkins got him twice late in the game, but it wasn't enough. Peters is going to play left corner. And every time Hopkins lines up on the right, he's going to see the rookie in man-to-man situations. Here we go.
What a year Hopkins had on an offense with 4 quarterbacks, losing their star Arian Foster. He became the star, 3rd in receptions, 4th in receiving yards. Texans need him to succeed here today. First carry, nowhere to go as Josh Mauga penetrates and brings down Alfred Blue for no gain. Here is that Kansas City defense, 18 points a game, 3rd in the league. Dontari Poe's playing better on the nose. He had back surgery early on. Derek Johnson came back from the Achilles last year. Houston was out the last 5 games. And that story of Eric Berry, a year ago, chemotherapy, battling Hodgkin's lymphoma, not just on the field this year, not just playing his best football, Pro Bowler, all pro. What a story, what a season. Blue for 2, and nothing more. Berry's there along with Poe to make the stop for Kansas City.
Poe is healthy again. And at nose tackle, he is hard to single block. Here he is getting off a double team. When you can stop the run, you make teams one-dimensional. And when you have to throw the football against this Chief pass rush, good luck.
He had disc surgery in July and was slow to get going. They were careful with his snaps, but he's come along in the last 6 weeks. Empty backfield for 3rd and 8. Hoyer clutches, fires, that ball's intercepted. Is that Berry? Yes, it is. Eric Berry with the interception, and just like their week 1 meeting, Hoyer throws an interception in his own territory in the first quarter.
Eric Berry back to the Pro Bowl. It's a clean catch, Mike. Poor throw. I have no idea what Hoyer is looking at. Perhaps he's feeling the rush. Protection was excellent. That was just an ill-advised throw. So far, Hoyer is off.
Looked like he was expecting Washington to be in front of the safety, but you think back to that Peters interception in week 1, was the same kind of thing, where that throw had no business being thrown where it was thrown.
A lot of disguises in this Chief secondary. That time they get Hoyer, and they set up Smith with great field position.
For Berry in his 3rd postseason game, his first playoff interception. Great field position for Smith and the Chiefs, and the run here by Spencer Ware to the 29-yard line. And John, we talked about Berry and chemotherapy this time last year and how he came back. And Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs, told us last night he came back with speed. Not as though he got faster, but he came back and he saw things quicker. And the urgency and everything Berry's done has been exceptional.
Unbelievable, and they have fed off of his recovery. Big reason why the Chiefs have come back from 1-5. Eric Berry's story.
Ware gained 5. Couple of tight ends here on 2nd and 5. And Smith rocket down the middle, deflected and intercepted by Brian Cushing. It was deflected on good coverage by Kareem Jackson. And Houston desperately needed that turnover.
Indeed, a poor throw by Alex Smith. Normally a very accurate passer. He misses, and Houston takes advantage.
A rare mistake by Alex Smith. Postseason starts with this game, ends with the Super Bowl. The week before the Super Bowl, it's the Pro Bowl. Back in Hawaii, we'll be over there for the draft with Jerry Rice and Michael Irvin. The captains pick the teams on Wednesday night, and then the game on Sunday evening from Honolulu on ESPN. An interception by Cushing, who did not have a takeaway all year. Matter of fact, hasn't had a takeaway since the opener in 2013. It was looked at and confirmed, as all turnovers are, via replay. And Hoyer's got to get going. They have no first downs. Pass to C.J. Fedorowicz, the tight end, blanketed by Josh Mauga, and the gain is barely a yard.
Well, they're trying to get Hoyer a completion. Here is Houston recognizing the bootleg, and looks pretty healthy right there, Mike. Great to see him back in the lineup. He's missed 5 games. Almost broke Michael Strahan's sack record last year with 22. If he is his old self, look out.
Cecil Shorts coming in, try to block a little bit, try the quick hitter with Blue. Only a gain of a couple of yards to the 20-yard line. D. Ford was over there. He's the 3rd, along with Holly and Houston, those pressure guys off the edge.
Well, you're going to have to use somebody else to block D. Ford, not Cecil Shorts. But D. Ford, Frank Zomba give Kansas City a deep group of pass rushers, and they can come throughout the day.
Houston's run 8 plays. They only have 9 yards. Ryan Griffin, the tight end in motion. Blitz coming from the right. Hoyer goes there. It's Hopkins who gets the Texans' first down of the day at the 28-yard line.
Overload blitz, well recognized by Hoyer. They're going to bring 4 Kansas City Chiefs to the right side of the formation. Watch number 41, Grimes, pick it up beautifully, and Hopkins splits people for the first down after the catch.
As you watch this play, you saw Houston on the end. He did not come down very cleanly on that left knee. Right there, you can see he took a misstep, and he walked very gingerly over to the athletic trainer on the sideline. Lisa will watch number 50 in white. Here's Blue to the right, trying to get a block downfield. Capped off by Tom Bahali. It's gain of 4 yards with Ron Parker with the primary tackle. Let's go back to Houston. 5 weeks he's missed with a hyperextended left knee that we showed you at the start of the game. Had that brace on. Let it go in practice this week. Talked all the good talk, but as we know, John, get out in the game, it's a little bit different story with another 300-pounder that you're trying to get leverage off of.
Can't simulate game speed. Let's hope he's okay.
2nd and 6. Hoyer's got a little more time here. Goes towards Hopkins. Flag on Peters, who was defending.
It's going to be a big part of this game. Peters and Hopkins in one-on-one coverage, and pass interference will be a call that will be well scrutinized.
Defense, number 22. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Awful close to me. Hopkins gets the call. Thing I like about Peters is he has been tested all year. As a rookie, he's had the 8 interceptions. He's given up some plays. He keeps coming back. He keeps coming back. And that's a quality you have to be a great corner. Credit to him.
Like you said, John, the corners don't flip sides. So Hopkins going a lot to the offense's right. They'll find Peters on the defense's left often. Play pass, first down. Hoyer looking downfield, coming to the other side. And it is Hopkins on this near side making the catch in front of Sean Smith for a gain of 11 on a first down.
That's who they're looking for. DeAndre Hopkins. He comes out of motion. He's going against Sean Smith in zone coverage. See if he gets them both in. Some fancy footwork by DeAndre Hopkins. Came in here with 111 catches. Just 23 years old.
Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, the 2 who've caught more balls this year than Hopkins. Cut by Blue. Looked like he was going to be tackled by Frank Zombo, but he moved back inside. Turned a negative play into a gain of a couple. From perspective on his first 3 seasons in the NFL, 3,500 yards. That's top 5 in NFL history, and we know this is the most prolific passing era. We get Randy Moss, Torrey Holt, and Jerry Rice there. Gives you a sense of what Hopkins has done, John, with a variety of quarterbacks. It's not just the 4 or 5 this year. Last year was Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tom Savage. He's had a lot of QBs.
And it doesn't frustrate him. He loves the challenge. DeAndre Hopkins, he's special.
Go to the left, patiently waiting for some space. He got out of that tackle by Berry, was able to get ahead and get a few more yards. So Alfred Blue has become the player who's carried it the most, John. 2nd year out of LSU. He's a 6th-round pick. Really flashed against Tampa Bay this year. He had the most carries anyone had in a game this year. He had 31 rushes. He ended up with almost 700 yards. That was his career best season.
And they used Jonathan Grimes as their 3rd down back, number 41.
Third and 5 with Hoyer. Had some time. These guys tight end Ryan Griffin for the first down at the 33. Griffin got hurt in week 1 against Kansas City. Was out half the season. They like him as their option to throw to a tight end.
Brian Hoyer throws the interception. He comes back with a couple completions to DeAndre Hopkins. That time he's accurate to his tight end, Griffin. And Clark so far at left tackle doing a nice job pass protecting.
Nice luxury to have a man who started 2 Super Bowls ago. The Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl. Clark was the starting left tackle for Peyton Manning. He's in there for Dwayne Brown, who was injured last week. And the first down, tossed to Blue. Good read by Derek Johnson. So Johnson tore his Achilles, John. He was out all last season, and as this year went on, he felt like his playing speed improved, and we saw it right there.
Well, he's the ringleader of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's the all-time leading tackler. He's not going to make this tackle, but he is going to go as hard as he can, as long as he can. He rarely comes off the field. Undisputed leader of this football team, Derek Johnson, from right here in Texas.
33 years old, and he's still got it. What a year. Second and 10 shotgun run. It's been a lot of Blue running, and he gets to the 30-yard line. And Houston came back on that play for Kansas City. Justin Houston, they looked at that left knee, and he is back in there for the Chiefs.
I like watching Bill O'Brien work with these backs. They lost Arian Foster, who did it all. So now they use Blue as the first down runner. They get into the sub third down situations. They go to Grimes, and you're going to see some other backs as the game unfolds.
Play 11 of this drive. And Hopkins moves him out of the backfield to get picked up by Sean Smith. Jump by Ford was legal. It was knocked out and free. Allen Bailey knocked it out. It's pinned up against Dontari Poe of the Chiefs. And let's see what happens at the bottom of the pile. It belongs to Kansas City.
Houston can't handle the Chiefs in one-on-one pass protection. They've got to get help. That ball may have slipped right out of Hoyer's hands,
Yeah, it
Mike.
sure did. I thought Bailey was coming in with his arm to knock it free. It was not him. It was just out of the hands.
Moving on the field is a fumble recovered by Kansas City. First down
Of Hoyer.
Time out on the field.
And Poe was the one who pinned it to his body and gets the second turnover for the KC defense in the first. Bill O'Brien talking with his quarterback, Brian Hoyer. It's been a mistake-filled first quarter for the Houston offense. And then on that play, as they were getting close to a field goal attempt on third down, his left tackle was pushed back into Hoyer, which knocked the ball free. They credit Bailey with a sack on that play, by the way, and Poe the recovery. Final seconds, opening quarter. Chiefs from the 42, and Smith throws to the tight end. Kelce brings it in. He's brought down by Kareem Jackson, but it's a gain of 18 to the 40-yard line.
What a receiver Kelce has become, Mike. Going to the Pro Bowl, he starts one way, breaks back to the corner route, beats Kareem Jackson with his incredible ball skills and range.
After one, Kansas City 7, Houston nothing. Second quarter opening kickoff return as KC up 7-0. Only one tackle so far for J.J. Watt. These are the ways Kansas City's trying to keep him in check.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see some no huddle to wear J.J. out, but you've seen quick passes, you've seen some options. They're using three tight ends to neutralize Watt. Keep an eye on Alex Smith. He just got to settle down. They have the right game plan so far.
Alex Smith just missed that long touchdown a couple of drives ago. Last drive, the interception. Here from the Texans 40, they hand it to Charkandrick West, who gains 3.
Well, here's what they've done so far to neutralize Watt. Little built-in quick screen. J.J. Watt can't get there, get the ball to Kelce, get positive yardage. Then they run a zone read. And obviously Alex Smith sees the blitz, he keeps the ball himself. They run a jet sweep, they don't even block J.J. Watt. They've done a nice job mixing their plays, getting the ball off quickly and neutralizing Watt so far.
As you would expect, two very good defenses off to good starts. Here is West. That's a tackle after a couple of yards gained. Otherwise, the second-year man out of Abilene Christian was run into some daylight.
Andy Reid going deep on that sideline sheet. That time he just ran a trap play. When you have an active pass rush, you have to slow them down somehow with traps, options, quick passes, and on third down and 4. Here's Alex Smith. Expect pressure.
Watt rushing top of the screen. They go the other way. Kelce not going to get there. A yard short, pulled down by the safety Quentin Demps. Let's see what Kansas City will do on 4th and 1. They bring out Cairo Santos, the field goal kicker.
Excellent tackling by the Texans. That's a designed block, flat, Mike, my favorite play. They're going to
Right.
throw the ball to Kelce, with 2 blockers out front, and Demps has to make that tackle. Great work.
Demps, who was a Chief 2 years ago, keeps Kansas City from the first down, so Dustin Colquitt will hold. James Winchester, a rookie snapper, will send it back to Santos, born in Sao Paulo, from 49 yards. And down the middle, and Santos gives Kansas City a 10-point lead. Kickoff return and then field goal. What a football weekend. The playoffs Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday night, Alabama and Clemson in Glendale for the national championship on all the ESPN platforms. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit have the call right here on ESPN. Derrick Henry, the Heisman winner, bringing the Tide to roll to another title. The SEC in a record-setting season in yards and touchdowns. How will the Clemson defense and Shaq Lawson deal with him? It'll be in Glendale on Monday night. We'll have it for you on anything that has the ESPN logo on it. 49-yard field goal by Santos broke the record of Jan Stenerud, the longest field goal kick in the playoffs for a Chief. Stenerud had a 48-yarder in Super Bowl IV. Touchback, they'll take over from the 20, and this Kansas City defense pitching a shutout so far, going to add to their great 2015 season. ESPN's NFL Wild Card is brought to you by Free State of Jones. Starring Matthew McConaughey. Get an exclusive first look at the trailer coming up in the 3rd quarter. GMC, we are professional grade. ESPNFanshop.com, which is powered by Dick's Sporting Goods. And Navy Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA. Texans Friday at Johnson Space Center. Of course, so much of our space exploration as a country emanating from that building. Currently, they're in control of the International Space Station. Recently entered 15 years, a record of continuous human occupation. So if you'd like to go up to the Space Center, John, we have friends who can get you up there. Break down film from there. From the 20, Texans go to Hakeem Hunt in the backfield, and he goes nowhere as Poe is there with the stop. John, they got to get Brian Hoyer going.
Got to quit turning the ball over, Mike. He just forced one late down the middle, and Eric Berry picked his pocket, and then his left tackle. Chris Clark gets bull rushed by Allen Bailey. That's 2 turnovers. Don't want to turn the ball over. That was his #1 objective. Got to pick it up if you're Brian Hoyer.
Already the 2 against this defense. Up the 20. And finding Hopkins made a sensational play. Let's see where the flag will go as he was dealing with Sean Smith. He felt that he was not down. That's why he got up to take off. And this will be sorted out by the officiating crew. Again, this is not Ron Torbert's crew that works together all season. The best officials all year round are the ones who work the playoffs.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense, number 21. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is the first down.
Sean Smith is a good corner also. Press coverage. Just a simple hinge route. Good call by the official. DeAndre Hopkins was a great high school basketball player, and he uses that size to gain position.
From the 33 on first down, they get to Hoyer. One more time, it's Jay Howard. You know, John, we talk about Houston and Holly and D. Ford, but Bailey and Howard and Poe inside give a great push.
Great push. You see Howard, number 96, working against Suafila at left guard, beats him clean. Kansas City likes their matchups across the board. And if they can get in these long yardage situations, it's going to be a long day here in Houston.
The background on Howard in the contract years had a good season. 2nd and 17. Hoyer out of his hands quickly. It is caught by Cecil Shorts III, a former Jaguar, 4 years with Jacksonville. Minimal game. Still 3rd and long against this defense. That's tough stuff. in that turnaround for the Chiefs, where they've won a franchise record 10 in a row. It's since week 7. Hardest to score on, second most sacks, second in takeaways.
Those are the kind of numbers you can ride all the way to the Super Bowl, Mike. If they can get it together on offense, look out.
Quickly on 3rd and 12, Hoyer for Nate Washington, incomplete. They're trying to get into more 3 receiver sets, spread the ball around, but it will be another short possession for Houston.
And I think Sean Smith is a big reason why the Chiefs turned things around. He was suspended the first 4 games of the season, and this is a man-to-man coverage team. And when you have Marcus Peters on one side and Smith on the other, you better have 2 good receivers.
We need a Leckler boomer here. More of a line drive. Still got 50-plus yards out of it from the 17. Frankie Hammond gets past the long snapper. Weeks gets to the edge. And will be shut down to the 30-yard line by Houston's Akeem Dent. 52 on that line drive kick. It was returned 13. Former #1 overall pick Alex Smith up 10-0 and on the field in a moment. Been quiet in NRG Stadium since the opening kickoff return for the touchdown by Knile Davis. Kansas City up front with some changes, John. Laurent Duvernay Tardif, their starting right guard, being evaluated for concussion. So Ja Reed has moved in at right guard now. Alex Smith taking over from his own 30-yard line. Spencer Ware, the back, is blocking, and the Smith pass is complete to Macklin. That's a gain of 6 yards, John.
Alex Smith has a tall task ahead of himself. Got a new center, Fulton. I mean, Mitch Morse was the center for 15 games. Ja Reed has been a right tackle. He's at right guard. Stevenson's been mostly a backup. He's over there at right tackle. Against this Texan defense, the offensive line of the Chiefs must protect Alex Smith. He's got to get it together quick.
It's been a hallmark of this unit this year. Their interchange, their versatility. The boys are paying dividends now with all these moves because of the injury to the center of the right guard. Spencer Ware, the back, blocks Watt on 2nd and 4. There's time to find Kelce in front of the rookie nickel, Kevin Johnson, and that double team on Watt gave time for Smith to complete it downfield.
What a great play by Alex Smith. He saw Quentin Demps come down on the line of scrimmage to cover his tight end, Kelce. He audibles, gets the protection he needs, and makes a beautiful throw. Alex Smith, he can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his football mind. That's a beautiful route by Kelce.
Kelce hurt Houston in week 1. He had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. He's hurting them in the first half of the wild card game today. Spencer Ware past Watt. Tackled by Kareem Jackson, just a gain of a yard. Kelce's Pro Bowl bound. We see his brother do a terrific job playing center for the Eagles. John, on a team where the wide receiver spot was weak, they brought in Jeremy Macklin to give him a wide receiver threat, and Kelce's numbers have just improved and expanded this year.
Runs a lot of different kind of routes from different formations, and he's excellent after the catch. Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator of Houston, got to make something happen.
2nd and 9. Now it's Tarkandrick West, the running back, gets to the 32-yard line. We'll call it officially a gain of 7 before rookie Bernardrick McKinney made the stop.
He's got to be killing J.J. Watt. They're not even blocking him, Mike. They're going to read him this time and use his aggressiveness against him. J.J. Watt, what do you want me to do? Take the quarterback or the back? Very frustrating, that zone read. You can ask any defensive lineman that plays this game for a living. 3rd down is short. Important down.
Jet sweep. Wilson. They were ready for it, and the tackle's made by John Simon after the miss by Jonathan Joseph. Simon cleaned it up. What a good player he is. 3rd-year man out of the Ohio State University.
You wonder where Jadeveon Clowney is. Well, Simon has taken his place and outperformed him, if you ask me. That time, it's just great second effort. Simon came here from the Ravens and has really fit in nicely. Here's Santos.
Need a 49. Try another 49. Carbon copy. Gyro Santos showing no shakiness in his first playoff game. 13-0, Kansas City. If you watched Hard Knocks this year, you knew they had a tough call at quarterback. They ended up getting Brian Hoyer to be the starter. He was benched. Brian Mallett took over, poor on and off the field. So Hoyer got the job back until he was concussed. TJ Yates led them to a win over the Jets. Hoyer played 3 more, concussed again. Yates was back, then he tore his ACL. Brandon Whedon, who didn't win in Dallas, got a win here. And then Hoyer was healthy enough after the 2 concussions to come back week 17 and lead the Texans to the win over Jacksonville. John, it has been a complete circus at the quarterback position for this Houston team, as we said, not just this year, but last year as well.
And I don't know where Bill O'Brien goes. If Hoyer doesn't pick it up, it's not like he can turn to Brandon Whedon. Whedon doesn't hardly know this offense, Mike. And if you throw in the fact he lost Arian Foster, his feature back, and his left tackle, Pro Bowler Dwayne Brown, tough assignment for Bill O'Brien.
Down 13-0. Special teams have been huge for Kansas City. The kickoff return and the kicking game as well. It's given long fields for an offense that is struggling. Here are the 4 drives, the 3 and out, the pick on 3rd down. They had the 1 drive going with the 11 plays, but the left tackle was pushed into the quarterback, forced to fumble, picked up a 1st down the last drive, but had a punt. They've been mostly on their half of the field in this half.
It's the first time I've seen Kansas City go to their bench on defense. You see 98 Nick Williams, number 70 Mike DeVito have checked in to give Kansas City some rest.
Texans have 22 plays, only 46 yards. Hoyer, Hopkins. Did he get the 2nd foot down? I don't think so. Let's see. They're going to rule it a catch. Well, the initial ruling's the catch. There is a flag down. The field judges come in for his opinion, and they are going to rule it a catch. Gain of 16 for a moment. Flag is on the opposite side of the field.
What a catch. Does he get his feet in? He did.
Before the pass, holding, defense, number 21. That penalty is declined. He's over the play. Is a 1st down.
Penalty there on Smith, but on the other side, you saw that crumb rubber come up with the toe drag. Incredible job by Hopkins to reel it in.
Unbelievable. It's like the only threat they have is DeAndre Hopkins.
Gain of 16, they'll feed the fullback, Jay Prosh. 2 years in Illinois, 2 years at Auburn. Only a half dozen carries for the year and very short game. John, we talked about the quarterback story this year. How about what Hopkins had to deal with those numbers with these quarterbacks? And he had a 100-yard game with each one. 4 different quarterbacks. That's never happened for a receiver in the history of the league.
Might not happen in the history of football, Mike. This is unbelievable. He comes to work every day. No maintenance. Great player. Get to know him.
Alfred Blue.
There we go.
Found the crease. Blue a 1st down.
There you go.
Still going. Blue 40. Blue 30. Working on Peters. Spins inside to the 13-yard line. Did they need that 50-yard run? Wow.
Down the stretch, this big back out of LSU has been a factor. It's going to be a stretch play right off the right side. And you have some backup Kansas City Chief defenders in there. This is just good 2nd effort running. Parker misses a tackle. And Alfred Blue, who had over 100 yards last week, does a great job in the open field.
Wildcat. Wildcat here, John, and it's right to Jonathan Grimes. Grimes working inside. Houston pulls him back at the 5. That is a gain of 8.
It's Bill O'Brien. He's going to pull every stop out of that game plan. Jump the ball, no huddle, Wildcat formation. Snap it to Jonathan Grimes before anybody's set. Just a simple stretch play again off the right side. Well blocked. Keep an eye on Hopkins. At the bottom of the screen, they love to isolate him in these red zone situations.
The rookie Pro Bowl corner Marcus Peters out on the sideline. Hoyer, Hopkins, incomplete. That's the exact place and play that they scored on in week 1. They scored on Peters, but that time the Oregon State rookie Steven Nelson was there in coverage.
You could see that coming from here, Mike. Isolation, one-on-one coverage. Steven Nelson gets it done. And Peters is back on the field. About Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator. He doesn't care who plays corner. He's going to play man-to-man coverage against the best the other team has.
Got all the pylons covered, front and back here for this wild card game. 3rd and 2, inside run. Blue has the first down to the 2-yard line. That was such a big play, that 49-yard run by Blue. And here comes J.J. Watt on offense, and Vince Wilfork is coming on the field to play offense for the Texans. Look out here.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put J.J. Watt in the Wildcat and run it right behind Wilfork. Bill O'Brien has to do something to get this crowd in the game. Look out.
What about this? Watt was a high school quarterback until his junior year. He takes and runs behind Wilfork and gets stopped. Second effort, he's going to lose 2 yards. You said it, John. Everything in the playbook. And they put Vince Wilfork out to block, and J.J. Watt is a Wildcat quarterback. And now Hoyer's coming back in the game.
It's a Wildcat direct snap with Vince Wilfork leading the way for J.J. Watt. And credit Kansas City. They knew exactly where that ball was going. They stuffed it.
Well, this is a team that has struggled inside the 5-yard line all year, so that's why they go to J.J. Watt, who's never had a rushing attempt. We know his touchdowns, especially last year, but trying to find a way to figure it out inside the 5. And they go to drastic measures here in the postseason. Now, the game has been stopped for a moment. Consultation with the officials.
First charge, timeout, Kansas City. Reset the game clock to 3 minutes, 53 seconds, please. 3:53. This is a 30-second timeout.
Ron Parker was having a helmet issue, and Kansas City takes a timeout here before 2nd and goal. Well, we know Andy Reid has gone to a different place in terms of calling plays. How about what Bill O'Brien's trying to manufacture over here on his side?
Well, you just talked about it, Mike. You have the quarterback carousel. Every week you've had a different quarterback. You've lost your feature back, your all-time leading rusher, Arian Foster. Your left tackle's out. You really have one certified threat, DeAndre Hopkins. You got to use everybody on your roster to create offense. Let's see what's next.
2nd and goal. They're going to take their tight ends and split them to the bottom of the screen. It's Fedorowicz and Griffin, the big size over here, close to you. Griffin's in short motion. Hoyer is scanning. Underneath, he threw a pick in the red zone to Josh Mauga. Mauga is on his feet and brought down to the 20-yard line. Hoyer, who doesn't see guys sometimes when he comes back to a 3rd or 4th option, with a massive mistake for the Texans there.
And Bill O'Brien has nowhere to go, Mike. Whedon just got here, and Don Terry Poe broke through there, put the pressure on Hoyer, and he made a terrible decision under duress.
Josh Mauga the pick, and the Kansas City defense hangs in on a frustrating first half for the home team. Brian Hoyer throws his 2nd interception. You can hear Texans fans. Their team gets down to the 2. They get their first momentum. They bring in J.J. Watt for the trick play. That backfires, and then they come back, and Hoyer throws the pick. The Kansas City maintains its 13-point lead, and they have the ball first down. Watt from behind trying to knock it away, and Mercilus has his 2nd sack of this first half.
Watt with the pressure, and Mercilus with the cleanup. J.J. Watt beats Fisher, and Smith steps right into the pressure of Whitney Mercilus. What a job Mercilus has done feeding off of J.J. Watt, the 2 of them. 29.5 sacks in the regular season. They need a turnover themselves.
They're on the same side now, 2nd and 14. And they'll run it inside with Chuck Hendrick West, who gains 2 yards to the 20-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and long coming up.
Credit the Texans defense. They have been put in some horrible situations. Remember, 13-0, Mike. 7 of that came on the opening kickoff on a kick return. This Texan defense has done an excellent job, and here they are, the #1 3rd down defense in all of football. Can they set their offense up with some field position to end the half?
Tall rookie receiver Chris Conley came in motion. Alex Smith feeling the pressure, fires. It is on the sideline. Wilson inbounds with the catch at the 42-yard line. First down gain of 19.
Here comes Kansas City. They're going to try to run a play before they can replay it. Good move by Alex Smith.
Ooh, not in there. Got to throw the challenge flag. They do. Challenge flag is thrown. Finally seen by the official on the near side, the line judge, as Bill O'Brien threw it right in front of him to kill the play.
That's a great job by Bill O'Brien, listening to somebody upstairs.
Houston has challenged a ruling on the field of a completed catch. We'll review the play. Timeout on the field.
Great job by our guys getting the replay up there as well. Here you see what they saw, and will be reviewed in replay. First half and that preview of Game 2 on this AFC Wild Card day, the primetime game Steelers and Bengals. So Chris will have that and more Toyota halftime coming up. So Ron Torbert's gone over for a look under the hood in consultation with Dean Blandino. Dean Blandino, the Vice President of Officiating, working back at the league headquarters in New York. If it's incomplete, it'll be 4th down and 2:14 on the game clock. Here's Ron.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. The receiver did not get his left foot down after securing possession of the ball. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be Kansas City's ball, 4th down on the 20-yard line. Please set the game clock to 2 minutes, 14 seconds. The clock will start on the snap. Houston is not charged with the timeout.
And that means the Texans, if they challenge a second time and it's correct, can earn a 3rd challenge. Right there, once he grabs that foot just was in the air. So it is only 1 foot down, and now it's 4th down. And as you were saying before that play, John, it was a big 3rd down stop for the Houston defense.
And let's see if Mumphrey can set up Brian Hoyer in this Texan offense. They need all the help they can get.
Dustin Colquitt to kick it away. With hang time, the kick is 41, and Mumphrey reels it in at the 39-yard line. That's where the Texans get it with 2:08 to go. You just pull back a little bit, John, and think about what has happened here in this game. Houston's had Kansas City, excuse me, has had so many opportunities. Really 4 possessions where they could have gotten more points out of it. The long pass that was missed to Wilson, just a step away from him. The interception inside the 30 after the Houston interception. And the 2 possessions where they got field goals. The Texans are very fortunate to be just down 13.
They sure are. We knew yards were going to be hard to come by. Let's see if Hoyer can get something on the board before the break.
Officials get that kicking ball out of there and get a Houston Texans football for this series. For the 7th-year man out of Michigan State. Now we get whistle from the sideline.
Well, the Chiefs defense has seen this formation for the last 3 minutes.
Spoken by a play caller. You hate that,
crazy.
Huh?
I have to show them our formation for 2 minutes.
First down from the 40. It will be a run with Jonathan Grimes. He gets pulled down by Justin Houston. Went off the field early with that knee, but came back and has been effective 6. 2-minute warning here in Houston. 13-0 KC. 7 for the Chiefs in the first quarter, 6 in the second quarter. Houston had a great point differential in the second half compared to the first, although there's a little asterisk with that, John. They had the 2 games where they were being blown out by 40 points at halftime, and especially the one against Miami, which is one of the turning points of this team's season. So they were coming back in some games where the margin was way out of whack, but still this team has shown in tighter games the ability to come back offensively in the fourth quarter. So let's watch how they close this first half. 2nd and 9. Hoyer shot downfield. Nate Washington's overthrown. It's intercepted. That's a 3rd pick of the half. Marcus Peters turns this into a punt return. And he got a great block, but it was illegal. So this one will come back. Peters at the 30 accelerates, gets to midfield, and he's brought down at the 47-yard line by the center, Ben Jones. But the shot for Nate Washington was well overthrown. And that's 3 picks in 6 possessions thrown by Hoyer.
And they're bad interceptions. All 3 interceptions are horrible. Bad decisions. You're throwing against a Pro Bowl left corner, and there's no way you throw this football, Mike. Know who you're throwing against. Know the situation. And he fumbled the football. He's turned the ball over 4 times in the first half.
Interception return.
Not good.
Illegal block in the back by the intercepting team, number 29. Penalty being forced from the spot of the foul. Kansas City's ball. First down.
And on that play, you see the bump that DeAndre Hopkins took. He was slow to get up. The athletic training staff walked him over, and now he's in conversation with George Godsey. It is an interesting situation, John, because Hoyer did get pulled in that first game, and Bill O'Brien, the coach, he was very honest about it. As a turning point to their season, he said, I was too quick to pull him because we went through preseason and OTAs and all that stuff, and we settled on Hoyer as the quarterback over Ryan Mallett. And in many ways, that apology to the team, that willingness to be honest about a mistake, helped galvanize this group, that they were not fail-proof, and they were the ones who could make mistakes, even if their head coach did. This one's a different call in this win-or-go-home game. From the 10, it's a run with Trek Handrick West. He gets 5 to the 15-yard line. Timeout taken by Houston with 1:37 to go, trying to get the ball back. Peters, who led the league in picks, had one there. Bill O'Brien's defense trying to make another stand. 2nd and 5 here. Run by Ware as a first down. Spencer Ware runs through a would-be tackle, takes it out to the 38-yard line. He dump truck Quentin Depps with that carry.
He's got size. He ran right through Depps.
23 yards. Now the Chiefs will hop into a 2-minute offense. Timeout. Kansas City is back over the ball, but Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, their right guard, who is being evaluated for a concussion, is out for the rest of the game. First down throw is in the hands of Albert Wilson, who's pulled down out of bounds by Brian Cushing at the 44-yard line, gain of a half dozen.
And Andy Reid being very careful with his play selection. Manufacture enough offense, win the turnover battle, and take a lead to the 4th quarter with this defense and get out of here with a win. I think that's a big part of this game plan. They're not going to hold the ball very long and let J.J. Watt and this Texan pass rush get there.
2nd and 4. If they get around the 40, they can think about a field goal attempt. Santos was close to making it from 60 pregame. Spencer Ware, 2 yards shy of the first down. They're going to let this clock run down to 1:16, and now Houston will use a timeout. Third down and 1 coming up. As we said, going to break. Houston timeout was indicated. So Houston out of timeouts. Kansas City still has 2. Might give the Chiefs a chance to score before the break. They'll toss it to West. And the defense comes up with the stop. John Simon joining Bernardrick McKinney on the tackle. Houston out of timeouts. Kansas City can run this down to 30 seconds, take a timeout, and then punt it away.
Boy, another blown opportunity by Andy Reid's Chiefs. A 3rd and 1 at midfield. You have a chance to get more points. And once again, the Texan defense continues to keep them in this game. Kansas City, Mike, has blown a lot of great field position and scoring opportunities. And let's see if Bill O'Brien can get to the locker room at halftime and find a way to get something going on offense.
So Kansas City takes the timeout as to not take the delay of game. And it will set up the 4th down and 1, and likely the Chiefs punt. So we mentioned Pittsburgh and Cincinnati play in the next game, the AFC Wild Card game, part 2 today, and how this impacts next week. The winner of today's game will go to Denver if the Bengals win at home. If the Steelers win tonight on the road against A.J. McCarron in Cincinnati, then the winner of this game goes to New England. Lower remaining seed to the 1 seed, higher remaining seed goes to the 2 seed for the divisional playoffs next week. Dustin Colquitt exceptional at pinning the opponents back inside the 10. Late fair catch signal made by Mumphrey, and they're back inside the 10 again at the 8-yard line. 25 seconds to go. Defense and special teams can win championships, and that's why they're booing Hoyer as he comes back on the field with an offense that has turned it over in 4 of 6 possessions. 3 picks and a forced fumble, the 2 sacks, the opening 106-yard kickoff return by Knile Davis, which was the fastest score in any postseason game, and the 2 49-yard field goals by Santos.
Listen to this crowd. Kansas City has taken the crowd out of the game and turned them against the Texans. Let's see if matters change in the second half.
Chiefs have struggled to close games this year, and remember their last playoff game they struggled to close. Houston gets the ball to start the second half. Did you look at the old Astrodome next to NRG Stadium? Here's Chris Berman in the Toyota halftime.
All your work represent the hopes and dreams of a whole city.
I always take pride and do whatever it takes to help us win.
I want people to say, win or lose, this guy gave it his all.
We're going to give it all we have until that last whistle blows.
It's going to come down to the one that wants it the most. As simple as that.
22 years ago, Kansas City Chiefs won their last playoff game in the Astrodome. Lost 8 since, trying to change it here in NRG Stadium. 13 to the good. Third quarter, Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Lisa Salters talked to Bill O'Brien. We'll talk to Lisa in a second about that. 3 interceptions, John. As bad a first half as you can have, and Brian Hoyer in every aspect didn't bring it in this playoff game.
Not good enough. Late, down the middle, Eric Berry for the easy pick. Left tackle gets full rush by Allen Bailey. It's a fumble. Chiefs get it back. And then Dontari Poe whips a block. Bad decision, interception, and then right before the half, 3 bad interceptions, a bad fumble. I'm sure Bill O'Brien went to Hoyer at halftime. He's known him a long time, back from his Patriot days. Collect yourself. We can win this game. All we need to do is get a couple first downs, get you back in rhythm, because if we don't, I'm going to Braden Whedon.
You saw the Marino stat, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions the first half of what turned out to be Jimmy Johnson's last game, that famous 62-7 Jacksonville game. Santos with the kickoff, and it will not be returned. Lisa, what Bill O'Brien tell you at halftime?
Yeah, Michael, remember Bill O'Brien told us this weekend that if Brian Hoyer didn't play well, if he turned the ball over, the Texans wouldn't have a shot. I asked him what he was going to say to his quarterback in the locker room just to pump him up, and he was very emphatic in his reply. He said, hey, we have a shot. Look up at the scoreboard. It's just 13-0. He said, these fans, they can boo all they want. We still got a heck of a shot. Mike?
If you watched Hard Knocks, you know Bill O'Brien doesn't sugarcoat anything. If you remember the sideline give and take with Tom Brady. But he has been, as John said, with Hoyer for a long time, just trying to find some way to piece it together against a terrific Chiefs defense. The half begins with Alfred Blue running to the right for a gain of 4 yards. John, we can talk about all this pie in the sky. Can they do this? Can they do that? Russell Wilson was picked 3 times in the first half of the championship game. Came back to win last year. Forget all that. They got to do it against a really good defense in Kansas City.
Hey, Hoyer's got to shake off the Kansas City Demons. They booed him and ran him out of the lineup in week 1. This is going to be the all-time display of mental toughness if Hoyer can pull this out.
Jonathan Grimes is the running back. Hoyer throwing quickly. It was jumped by Smith, and the pass was incomplete with Ryan Griffin, the tight end, the intended target.
I thought he just threw his 4th pick. That time, Sean Smith read the quick game and almost intercepts this pass. Take a look at Smith, right corner at the top of the screen. He reads this all the way.
Go get that.
They are very ball-hawking oriented corners. They have 22 interceptions coming in here. Make that 25.
You can hear our parabolic microphone on the sideline. The Chiefs, go get that. They know it's sitting out there for them. Here comes the pressure. A whole bunch of Chiefs are free. It's Grimes, open field, first down. Derek Johnson, Marcus Peters couldn't make the stop, and the Texans get their 9th first down of this wild card game.
That's a nice play by Hoyer. Here comes the blitz off his right side. He's got to find his hot receiver. It's Jonathan Grimes in the flat, and Grimes rallies for a first down. Nice work by Grimes. He's their third down back, and he has really been effective down the stretch for Houston.
56. Alfred Blue up the middle for 3 yards. You've played in games where your quarterback just sticks it up in a half, and that's got to be a fine line. Do you just scream and yell, or do you try to just put your arm around him and just encourage the guy? Just give me a little bit of something that I've seen on the practice field.
I used to go in there and say, hey, that's my fault. Those are bad plays. I got to do a better job. And I'm sure that's what Bill O'Brien said. You got to build back his confidence. I'm sure O'Brien took it on himself.
Blue to the 40-yard line. You remember back our meeting we had, John, before we saw these guys, Houston, the Monday nighter against Cincinnati. They were struggling. They came off the bye week. They got a win before the bye against Tennessee. And you know what O'Brien told us? He said, you know what we got to get back to? Running the ball. We know we don't have Arian Foster. We got to figure out a way to run the ball. We've got to give our quarterbacks more of a chance, and maybe that's where they can find some success in this game by getting back to a run and setting up 3rd and short.
Problem is that's what Kansas City does well on defense. They stuff the run.
Oh, the other guy's over there, huh? Hoyer had to take a timeout. A look there that didn't fit, and Houston takes the first of their 3 timeouts. So what happens with a quarterback situation? You think about this Houston franchise, and they had David Carr early on in their franchise history, and then they had Matt Schaub. They had success. Remember, they made the playoffs a couple of times. Schaub got hurt once, T.J. Yates. And they've been searching the last couple of years for a quarterback. They're candidly going to be in the market for a quarterback, obviously, next year. But they had a chance to take Derek Carr in the 2nd round and didn't. And some people thought that they were going to in last year's draft. Instead, they acquired Hoyer and Mallett, let them battle for the job in camp. Hoyer won that. 3rd and 2. And complete. Forward progress should get Washington the first down, and it will. Headlines and marks it there. A yard past at the 43-yard line.
But you know, Brian Hoyer goes back to the New England days with Bill O'Brien, where he was the offensive coordinator. He was Tom Brady's backup for 3 years. Now, things are different, though. The head coach is Bill O'Brien, and the starting quarterback is Brian Hoyer. And they're both handling different kinds of pressure, and this is playoff pressure. And so far, Hoyer hasn't done very well, obviously.
Brian said he received a text of congratulations from Tom Brady. Could see him next week. Hoyer protected for the moment. Houston gets knocked away by Suafilo, and he almost threw his 4th interception. He was looking for Griffin. He had no idea Sean Smith was sitting over there, and they're lucky to get to 2nd down.
It's a play-action pass. He comes out with excellent protection, and he misses this throw. He never saw Sean Smith. You said it. Very lucky that ball was not intercepted. What do you call if you're Bill O'Brien?
You ever been there? Look at your play sheet. You don't know what to call?
Been there most of my career, Mike. I just remember those days well.
2nd and 10. It's Blue, good patience there, and Blue gets the first down into Chiefs territory at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 17.
There's Chris Clark, backup left tackle, gonna pull to the point of attack and escort Alfred Blue off tackle for a huge first down. Hasn't been pretty, but that's 3 first downs out of the locker room, and here come the Texans.
Blue again, that time there's no place to go. Kansas City's defense from Tyvon Branch makes the stop. You know, you talk about the playoffs and teams getting there and their stars. How cool for Tyvon Branch. 7 years with Oakland, played his college ball, University of Connecticut. He's played 91 games and finally gets to make his playoff debut here today. The most games played without a postseason game for anybody on either side of the field tonight.
And Justin Houston once again at the top of the screen. Dangerous pass rusher. Keep an eye on him.
44. Hoyer fires through the hands of Cecil Shorts. He eventually caught it a second time, but was out of bounds. Well, third down coming up.
You see George Godsey, the offensive coordinator, trying to find the protection, trying to find the play that Brian Hoyer can execute to put Houston back in business. Critical that they have success coming out of the locker room. They've had 3 first downs so far. Here they are in a no-back set.
Third and 10, quickly in the hands of Hopkins. He's going to try to make a play. The Chiefs know where they are going and shut him down. 6 yards shy of the first down with Eric Berry, who had the interception earlier, and the boos continue to rain down.
Come out in a no-back set. Kansas City blitzes it. They force Hoyer into a quick audible, and guess who makes the tackle? Eric Berry. I get choked up watching this guy. What he's come back from is amazing to me. And Kansas City has fed off his recovery.
Gene Leckler used to be poor at pinning the opponents inside the 10. He's got so much better. He learned from Darren Bennett out in San Diego the way to get that spin on the ball and give a long field on a long day for the Texans. ESPN's NFL Wild Card is brought to you by Fidelity Investments. Burger King. Get 5 delicious items for an unbelievable price. Only at Burger King. Ride Along 2. Training day is over. Ice Cube, Kevin Hart. This Friday. And Volkswagen. 71,000 inside of NRG Stadium. You look at them and the 95 yards the Chiefs have to go from Spider Cam. Our coverage today brought to you by DirecTV. Alex Smith trying to get going. Whitney Mercilus moved. The right tackle jumped to try to get him caught in the neutral zone.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 59. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And Donald Stevenson gets his team 5 yards.
You know, Mike, I'll bet Andy Reid told his Chiefs at halftime, let's put these guys away. 2 years ago, they had a big lead coming out of the locker room against the Colts. Couldn't hang on. You know Andy Reid has made that point perfectly clear.
They were up 38-10. A minute into the third quarter, lost 45-44. At the end of the 2013 season, the January of 2014 game. Look out, Watt. Smith gets away, and the speed of Alex Smith bails him out and gets him a big gain down the sideline. Look at Smith still going. There's a flag down back behind the play as McKinney chases him down all the way inside the 30-yard line, but we've got a flag down back at the Chiefs' 25.
Going to be holding against Kansas City.
Holding. Offense, number 12. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay first down.
Albert Wilson's flag erases what would have been a 64-yard gain.
And J.J. Watt almost has the sack. And you see Wilson, number 12. He sees his quarterback in trouble. He grabs the rookie corner, Johnson. Good call by the official. And Alex Smith needs to catch his breath.
Good news is you got a quarterback who can go 64. Bad news is he's got to come back and call one of those plays in the huddle. So because of that earlier penalty and then the spot foul, you get the very rare 1st and 4 for Kansas City. To Spencer Ware. John Simon waiting. Jared Frick waiting. 8.5-yard J.J. Watt, who rarely comes off the field, is limping after that play.
Well, he had that groin problem.
Yep.
He did not practice when we were there Thursday, Mike. Let's see what happened to Watt working against 75. Ja Reed on an inside move. Hard to determine.
You're right, John. He's been dealing with a groin injury throughout. We mentioned the left hand that was broken that he had to play through, all wrapped up the last 3 games. Got that off last week, had 3 sacks. 2nd and 3 for Smith, and out of the backfield it is West for the first down. Kansas West with the 23-yard line.
Look what Andy Reid's Chiefs did to J.J. Watt in the first half to neutralize him. Quick pass sets. They try to take his legs out. Then they run a jet sweep right at him and don't even block him. That's frustrating. Then Macklin nudges him to help his right tackle. Then they chip him out of the backfield. They have taken J.J. Watt out of the game, and now their nickel corner, number 30, Kevin Johnson, injured.
Watt's trying to get loose. They're looking at Kevin Johnson on the field as we get this timeout. Good defense in that picture there. Mike Vrabel on the left, the linebacker coach, Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator. They don't like having J.J. Watt next to them on the sideline, but he has been stretching that groin that, as we said, has been bothering him. He's got his helmet on. He's looking to go back in. We'll check if he goes back in. Kevin Johnson, the injured player, being looked at by the athletic training staff. Third-year man A.J. Boye, 34, will be the nickel next time they go 5 DBs. That last play picked up a first down, so from the 22, it's Smith. Flushed on the run, he rolls and throws, complete. Jeremy Macklin, gain of 15 yards to the 38-yard line.
Great call by Andy Reid. Watt is out of the game. Brandon Dunn on the right side of your screen, number 92, replaces Watt. I'd throw it again while J.J. Watt is on the sideline. Take a look at Macklin, number 19. What an addition he has been. Great zone awareness. He and the quarterback, Alex Smith, seem to like each other.
Officially a gain of 16. That was the second catch for Macklin. Watt remains on the sideline. The 38 back up top. Pass for Kelce, incomplete. It was covered by the safety, Quentin Depps. What do you like about Alex Smith, former #1 overall pick, who's had a good role these 3 years in KC?
Well, he's a winner, #1, and he has the triple A's that I like. He's athletic. You just saw him scramble. He's got good arm strength and accuracy, and he's audibled a couple times today. He's very sharp mentally. 48 wins, 21 losses in his last 50 outings with 1 tie. He knows how to win football games, and it doesn't have to be pretty. He's got to finish.
J.J. Watt returns to the Texans defense to try to stop Alex Smith. And Alex Smith and the Chiefs take a timeout. Each offense has used one halfway through this third quarter. The Chiefs only have 8 first downs for that opening kickoff return by Knile Davis. Their touchdown has helped them to the lead. Super Bowl 39, these guys match play calling wits. Andy Reid calling the plays for the Eagles against Romeo Crennel then with the Patriots. Of course, Romeo coached the Chiefs a couple of years ago after Todd Haley was let go, and then for one full season, the 2-14 season. And now they match wits again. A lot of playoff experience. 65 combined playoff games with those two men calling plays when the Chiefs have the ball. Out of the Kansas City timeout, 2nd and 10 for Alex Smith. Spread with 4 wide. And Watt, who took a false step and then went down in a lot of pain. That pass is caught, and it's Macklin 3 shy of the first down, but J.J. Watt's down on all 4s. He tried to put his foot in the ground and put some pressure on the pass rush. And a guy who plays 96% of the snaps can't play through the pain here.
Left tackle Eric Fisher in one-on-one pass protection, and you see the groin give way on J.J. Watt. Let's hope this isn't serious.
We also have a Chiefs player hurt on the far side of the 45-yard line as well. Foot sticks there and turns that ankle as well. He comes limping off.
Can't make out who that is, Mike, for the Chiefs.
Yep. Be Jeremy Macklin, I believe, over there. So 2 key players as they look at Macklin's knee, doing the test on his right knee as well. Huge loss that would be for Kansas City's playoff hopes as well. Andy Reid right over there too. So 2 of the best players in this game injured on the same play and in a ton of pain. Jeremy Maclin's very emotional as he came off. He got twisted in the pile. It didn't look like it was much of a tackle. You could just see it in his eyes and his face as they did the initial diagnosis on his knee. Then they'll probably take him over to the bench and look, but doesn't look good. And the reaction just eats your heart out. It's awful. Watt out of the game as well. Training staff looking at him. It's 3rd and 3, and Smith throws underneath. The crosser is Kelce, the tight end. He'll get the first down into Houston territory at the 40-yard line. So we were watching the Watt play. Saw he was hurt immediately. Here's what happened with Maclin as his knee gets tied up in there. And as you watch it, it didn't look like it was one of those plays where there's going to be significant torque or twist to that knee area, but you just never know when you have so much weight being pushed on there. And you can see the team doctor consoling Maclin, who has torn that right ACL before back in his Philadelphia days. 13-0 Chiefs lead. This is a run for Spencer Ware inside the 30 and to the 28-yard line with 6.5 to go as the Chiefs are trying to throw a knockout punch on this opening third quarter drop.
Kelce is doing it all as a runner and a receiver. That time he came across the formation through a critical block to spring Ware. And in Maclin's absence, it will be Kelce to step up just as he did last year.
And he becomes their main threat. Remember last year they had no touchdowns to wide receivers. They bolstered that position this year. It's Kelce on the bubble with Simon and Joseph over there for the tackle for Houston. But Kelce gained 6. It was a super late flag in, thrown by 3 different officials. So whatever happened.
Well, Brandon Dunn with a late punch. Did they catch him or Zach Fulton? Frustration.
Dunn, 92, the first-year man out of Louisville.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 92. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
There's a guy who wouldn't even be on the field if not for the J.J. Watt injury. He gets out there and commits a key penalty.
That's why he's a backup, Mike, and that's a terrible penalty late. He turns and looks up. Donald Stevenson goes to the face, and Fulton, number 73, is lucky he didn't get called here.
Yeah. And one thing they've tried to do with the officials, don't call offsetting. Try to call the first one if you clearly see it. And 3 officials saw it and threw it on Dunn, who played only 96 snaps all year.
And off the field he comes.
96 of 986 snaps this year, just under 10% of the action. In the red zone, Spencer Ware with the run for Kansas City. He's inside the 10. Now began 2 is Jared Crick and Vince Wilfork. Crick got the helmet knocked off, the mouthpiece out. Now it's getting chippy. And perhaps some of the chippiness is involved with the end of the J.J. Watt play. There was so much going on when Watt was down injured. And on the far side, Maclin had his injury being looked at. The number 1 overall pick of a few years ago, Eric Fisher, I don't think he had any idea that Watt was hurt. And he came and tried to get J.J. Watt with an extra shot. And they showed this on the big board during the injury break. And they booed that a lot, especially that shot over by the head. Now, you don't know slow-mo what's going on. He certainly doesn't know Watt is hurt, but the Houston fans were very unhappy, and maybe that raised the temperature of the players. Smith, end zone. Hauled in by Conley for the touchdown. The rookie out of Georgia, Chris Conley. Let's go. The first offensive touchdown of the day for Kansas City.
Excuse me, Mike. He steps in. Jeremy Maclin goes down. It's a beautiful play-action pass. I thought Smith gave the ball to Ware. Off the right side, they're going to eliminate the underneath coverage with the play-action pass, and Alex Smith throws a rope. And Conley went to the combine this year and blew every test off the chart. The man can run. He has leaping ability, and when you come in and replace a man like Jeremy Maclin in the playoffs in a critical situation and deliver, that's big time.
Replay confirms the 2 feet were down for the rookie who scored 1 touchdown in the regular season. They moved up in the 3rd round to get the SEC scholar athlete out of Georgia, and with Maclin injured, Need somebody to step into that role, and Conley, the big-bodied receiver, does just that. Extra point, Santos, and the Kansas City Chiefs take their opening third quarter drive down the field 94 yards. And Conley makes them a 20-0 leader. 22 years ago, next door from NRG Stadium at the Astrodome, the last time the Chiefs won a playoff game, Joe Montana was their quarterback. The Oilers had beaten the Chiefs bad 30-0 in week 2. With a good second half comeback led by Montana and J.J. Burton, Derek Thomas with a big impact in that game. Marcus Allen, Montana, and the Chiefs beat the Houston Oilers 22 years ago to get to the AFC Championship game. They lost to Buffalo, and that started this streak. 8 consecutive postseason losses, tying Detroit for the NFL record, the most consecutive postseason setbacks, but they're on their way to changing that. 2/3 of the way through this game, and on top 20-0. Of course, everyone in Kansas City thinking about Jeremy Maclin and hoping that injury is not severe, and that he might be around for the rest of this run for Andy Reid's team.
Only one thing for Bill O'Brien to do, Mike. You've got to get into an up-tempo offense and find a way to get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins. He appears to be the only game changer out there for Houston. They've got to pick up the pace and get the ball to Hopkins somehow, some way. Bill O'Brien knows that.
It's a 94-yard drive on this good Houston defense. Exactly what Kansas City needed to start the half. Hoyer, Nate Washington drop. Washington is usually such a good hands catcher. Couldn't reel that in. John, you talk about going to Hopkins, and Kansas City knows it too, but look at the difference in passes looking for Hopkins and going everywhere else.
And right on cue, Nate Washington drops a football. Washington came in here with a bad hip. Wasn't sure if he was going to play. The tight ends are not a part of this pass offense. Got to get the ball to Hopkins somehow, some way. Let him impact the game.
2nd and 10. They try to get it to Hopkins. That one is low and incomplete. There's zero confidence in anybody in that Houston offense. Lisa, the fans just cheered as J.J. Watt came back out from the locker room.
Yeah, Mike, he jogged back out onto the field. It's that same groin injury that the Texans had been telling me that his return was questionable. We saw him come out of the game a couple of times, miss a couple of plays. They wanted to get him back in the locker room sooner. He wouldn't go. This time he went back, came jogging back out onto the field. It appears as if he wants to and is getting prepared to come back into the game.
Yeah, you know he wants to. Incredible player. 3rd and 10. Hoyer, nothing open. Chased by Houston. Fires in the middle. It's broken up. Tried to get Griffin, but Hussein Abdullah, who's missed the last 5 games with a concussion, that's a big return to the Kansas City lineup here for the postseason.
Well, Justin Houston spying on Hoyer. He sees Hoyer break contain, and Houston almost gets Hoyer for the sack, but he forces the timing to break down, and there's Abdullah.
It's another drive without a first down for Houston. This punt by Leckler's 48 yards. And here comes Frankie Hammond Jr. Flags are down all over the place as Hammond's across midfield. Shoved out of bounds by Blue, the 48. And flags back here at the Chiefs' own 36-yard line.
That'll be Knile Davis, number 34, on a block in the back. This is coming back.
And Chris Polk, the running back, slipping off too.
Illegal block in the back by the return team, number 34. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Kansas City's ball, first down.
Penalty on Knile Davis.
This one's easy to see. He gets Chris Polk with a block in the back. Push in the back. J.J. Watt talking to Shane Leckler, the punter. He's like, hey, we need you to get back out there and change this game. They've tried J.J. Watt on offense today. He's carried the ball. He's battling a bad groin injury. And right now, Andy Reid and his Kansas City Chiefs offense wants to run the ball, possess the rock, and get to the second round.
Ball's being spotted at the 29-yard line. A couple of things here I should just point out. There are 3 alternate officials. They also aid in the inner workings of the game during the postseason, helping out the officials on the field. And also, this is the first game with the new procedures put in place by the competition committee. Dean Blandino, the vice president of officiating in New York, can help with some oversight on procedural items that are going wrong and make sure that a mistake does not happen. Spencer Ware with the carry to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 6 as they're trying to clean up everything going on off the pile. So Dean Blandino back at 345 Park Avenue, the league office, has a camera that's live at the field all the time. So even if we're not showing it on TV, he can see the ball mismarked, and he can speak directly to the referee of these playoff games, Ron Torbert in this case, to spot the ball penalty yardage or if the clock is running improperly like we had on a Monday night in San Diego. He can't help them out on a judgment call, say, hey, that should have been pass interference, or help change a judgment call. It's just a way to put one more level in there as a fail-safe, a lifeline, if you will, before a mistake happens. Smith flushed, chased by Doug, worked the sideline beautifully, and that's what you're talking about, John, with those 3 A's and the athleticism of Alex.
Well, you saw the accurate pass on the touchdown. And Brandon Dunn trying to replace J.J. Watt on the left side of your screen, number 92. It's chipped, and then Alex Smith runs away from him. And here's some fancy footwork to get the first down. Alex Smith came in here, Mike, with 498 yards rushing, and most of it is on scramble plays just like that. He had a 60-yarder called back earlier.
Spencer Ware. On his own read, the player you love, John Simon on the tackle.
I really like Simon. He's seen this scheme enough. That time Kelce comes across the formation to try to cut off Simon, and Simon almost intercepts his handoff. You get me once, but you're not going to get me twice. Simon's a good player, physical football player that can play a lot of different positions for Romeo Crennel.
Approaching 2 minutes, third quarter, and all Kansas City. Houston rushes 4. Alex Smith, wobbler in the middle. Kelce able to secure it. Elude the tackle, and Kelce's on the run. McKinney tackles him inside the 15 at the 13-yard line. A 47-yard gain.
You wonder why Kelce's in the Pro Bowl. It's plays like this. Alex Smith throws a ball that's down low, and Kelce has to go get it, but it's the yardage he makes after the catch, and that wasn't a very good effort by Jonathan Joseph. I'm sure Joseph saw the big man Kelce coming, but he has to make that tackle, and once again, Kansas City knocking on the door.
Officially a gain of 48, takes Kelce to 128. See all those yards after the catch, one of the tops. Bunch of tight ends are doing that this year. Sarkhan request inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
I don't know how Kansas City's doing this. Macklin's not playing. The offensive line is totally reshuffled. Andy Reid just called a trap, and Ja Reed, a former right tackle, comes into right guard. We have a backup center. We got a backup right tackle, and I don't know who West is, number 35. These backs are so obscure. Jamal Charles goes down, Mike, and there have been so many Kansas City Chiefs step up in this 10-game winning streak. It's amazing to me.
They are without Macklin for the rest of the game, obviously, with that knee injury. It's a Chiefs team that has run for 112 yards. Ware trying to add to it. He's going to be stopped with a gain of 1 yard. Clean up the pile with that flag. That last hit on the pile by Crick 93, who pushed the left tackle, Eric Fisher.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense number 93. Half the distance to the goal, automatic push down.
Let's go down to Lisa Salters.
Well, Mike, Brandon Whedon was just over here warming up on the Texans sideline. Brian Hoyer was sitting on the bench, and I just saw Bill O'Brien come over to him, get down on the knee. Couldn't hear what they were saying, but there's a possibility Brandon Weed might be coming to this game.
Yeah, there's no hope at this point. Down 20-0, 10 completions for only 76 yards, 3 interceptions. And we may see Wheaton. It might be too late. Fake the jet sweep, give to Ware, and behind the line of scrimmage again. The combination of Simon and McKinney will end this third quarter.
McKinney and Simon didn't buy on that jet sweep, but they're going to see the clock expire here. Kansas City knows the only enemy is the clock.
Up 20-0 after 3 in Houston. City up 20-0. Whoever wins will watch with great interest tonight. If the Bengals win, then tonight's winner will be Denver bound. If the Steelers win, then tonight's winner will be going to Foxborough next Saturday. In Kansas City up 20-0, trying to punch this in. And Chiefs fans, the euphoria of victory, it would be tempered a bit if that Jeremy Maclin injury is as bad as it looked. And we said knee injury out for the rest of the game. Obviously not going to hear it anymore until afterwards. But it's a Chiefs team that really come out strong in this second half. A 94-yard drive, longest in Kansas City playoff history, to get the touchdown in the third. This is a drive that started back at the 11 and ends with a touchdown by Spencer Ware.
Spencer Ware, as Andy Reid said to us, is dirty tough. Crick, number 93, can't make this tackle. You'll see Crick on the backside loop over the top, and Spencer Ware walks. Impressive domination by Kansas City here in the second half. I'm sure Andy Reid told his team, don't forget what happened 2 years ago against the Colts. Let's put Houston away, and they've done just that in all 3 phases.
A 5-yard touchdown run by Ware. The key play, the 48-yarder from Smith to Kelce. He's had many key plays this afternoon. Santos had a great kicking day as well. All Chiefs 27-0, 4 seconds into quarter 4. Well, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, will be handed out Super Bowl weekend the night before at the NFL Honors. J.J. Watt is the nominee for the Texans. His great foundation, Eric Berry, not just a cancer survivor, but the Eric Berry Foundation is trying to work to revitalizing his hometown, Duncan Park. It's become a multi-sports destination, and the young men and girls of Fairburn, Georgia, and that community are being helped by the leadership of an inspiring story in Eric Berry. And with J.J. Watt, we've talked about it when we've done their games before. A low moment here, but he has given so many enthusiasm and encouragement. So many wristbands been passed out to kids, not just here in Houston, but in Wisconsin, all over the country. DBWH, dream big, work hard. Underserved kids knowing the story of J.J. Watt and the story of others to inspire and change lives. And those 2 men join the other 30 nominees of the NFL Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. That'll be handed out the night before the Super Bowl, the NFL Honors. No return here, and let's check in with Lisa.
Well, Mike, perhaps there's, like you said, no more inspiring of a guy on the field than Eric Berry, diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma last December. He was just beginning a 6-month round of intense chemotherapy. At this time last year, he had his last treatment in May, was cleared to return to football in time for training camp in July. Most people need 3 to 6 months to be able to get back to a normal job after that kind of chemotherapy. Berry continued to work out during his treatment, despite the nausea, the vomiting, fatigue, all because he wanted to be right where he is right now, on the football field, cancer-free. Berry's lead oncologist, Dr. Christopher Flowers, he told me that Berry's return to football was a long shot at best in his mind, but him being selected to his 4th Pro Bowl this season, Dr. Flowers said that is just unheard of. Mike?
And all pro yesterday. Best of the best of the NFL. What an inspiring story. Hoyer remains the quarterback from the 20 to Griffin, the tight end. It's incomplete, John.
Go back to Eric Berry, though. Just think of all the people that he's given hope to. You know, he didn't just beat cancer. I mean, he came back better than ever. This guy's playing faster than I've seen him play. And the speed he's playing with, it allows him to make a lot of plays most safeties can't make, and it also allows him to prevent big plays. What a great story he is.
Second and 10, Hoyer. Griffin, the tight end, with the grab, out of bounds 35. Gain of 15. Defensive coordinator for the Chiefs is what a great man. Bob Sutton was once the coach at Army, and he told us yesterday, Eric Berry, very simply, he's on a mission. And it's inspired the rest of the team. So 1-5 for these guys, it didn't feel all that bad. They know what he went through, what Mike DeVito and Derek Johnson, the defensive lineman and the linebacker, went through as they tore their Achilles in the very first game of last year, 2014. Of inspiring comebacks, part of the story here. There's Johnson, along with Hussein Abdullah, tackling Jonathan Grimes.
And Justin Houston back on the field also after a 5-week layoff, Mike. This is a great opportunity for him to get some rushes in. He has been inactive. This is a great chance to work on his get-off and playmaking.
Grimes tackled by Abdullah, limiting the gain. Some Houston line there. The football part of that, and then there's the fan part saying, get him out of there if you're up 27-0. Here he comes limping off the field.
Get him back in there. Get his conditioning back to where it needs to be. This man is one of the premier pass rushers in all of football. He's going to have to fight through it. He's not going to be 100% the rest of the year. Let's hope he's okay, but there's a young man that has really turned a corner in his own right to become great.
Third and 3. You see the Chiefs showing one thing, rotating their coverage as Hoyer's got no place to go. Comes back to Griffin. He'll get the first down. Just shy of midfield in the arms of Sean Smith, the third-year man from the University of Connecticut, Ryan Griffin, moving the chains.
You know, one thing Kansas City doesn't do is they don't play a lot of 2-deep, 5-under zone coverage. But in this situation, with a 27-point lead, you're going to see Bob Sutton be very careful with his calls, I do believe.
Hoyer will take a shot towards Hopkins. Smith underneath. Hopkins trying to get his feet back down in bounds with a flag down. No ruling if catch or not, I think, because it's going to be offensive pass interference.
Just as I said that, Bob Sutton blitzes and isolates Smith and Hopkins.
Pass interference. Offense, number 10. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
When you have corners, you can call whatever you want. Peters leads the league in interceptions, and let's see Hopkins if he pushes off. That's awful. Awful close, but when you extend your arms, Mike, as an offensive player, officials are going to call that. You got to keep your arms tucked and inside. Anytime you extend them, you're going to get called.
They threw it to him a lot. They targeted him 190 times. He got the ball thrown his way a dozen times a game, and they caught 111 of them. First and 20, Hoyer, that's caught on the sideline. Jalen Strong inbounds with a grab. 3 shy of the first down for the rookie out of Arizona State, who's trying to get that right shoe back on.
Every time you throw the ball at Peters, you hold your breath. Watch Peters, number 22, try to undercut this and go for the interception. Location had to be perfect that time.
Peters tied for the league lead in interceptions with Reggie Nelson. Hoyer on time to Hopkins for the first down at the 27-yard line.
No pass rush. You have to credit Houston. They've protected, at least in this drive.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. We thought it would be more of an impact with the changes on the offensive front. The new left tackle, 2 sacks for Kansas City in this game. After back-to-back gains of 17, it's a gain of 3 yards for Jonathan Grimes.
Now, when you watch Kansas City on defense, Mike, they come from every place. They have 7 different Chiefs that have 4 or more sacks. You see Alan Bailey checking back in. He's a good inside pass rusher. Derek Johnson, number 56, their inside linebacker, he's got 4 sacks. And they bring Ron Parker, their nickel corner, number 38. He's got 5 sacks. So you got to deal with a lot of people coming at your quarterback.
Second and 7. Hoyer, middle, off the hands of Griffin. Broken up by Abdullah and incomplete.
Got to catch that football. You know, Bill O'Brien comes from New England, where the tight ends were a huge part of his pass offense, and they just haven't been able to get these tight ends involved at all. Fedorowicz, Graham, Griffin, you name the tight end, they just haven't delivered this year. Got to catch it.
For an offense that loves to have an involved tight end, this is the second lowest productive tight end group in terms of receptions and yards this year. 3rd and 7. Russian 5. Hoyer's got time. Hopkins jump ball. Couldn't get up there with Smith. Had him locked down there, and we'll see what they'll do here in a go situation on 4th down.
You know, Sean Smith, the ex-Miami Dolphin, what an acquisition he has been. He fits this Bob Sutton defense beautifully. And if you know anything about the Chiefs, you don't know who their secondary coach is, do you, Mike?
Kansas City's a guy who's been around a little bit, named Emmett Thomas.
Emmett Thomas, Hall of Fame corner. Was he a big physical Kansas City Chief? And this young secondary, they feed off of his knowledge and enthusiasm.
4th and 7. Hoyer had it stripped or lost it again, picked it up, and he's tackled at the 30-yard line. Alan Bailey, who pushed the pocket back earlier to force a fumble by Hoyer, involved there as the Chiefs take over on downs.
5 turnovers. Bailey ruined Houston's opening game, and he's going to ruin their final game of the season as well.
Kansas City's defense pitching a shutout. Alan Bailey's long arm of the law getting in there. The NFL Wild Card brought to you by the Capital One Quick Silver Card. Earn unlimited 1.5% cash back every purchase, every day. NFLshop.com. Gear up for the playoffs at the official store of the NFL. And the 150. Every other truck is history. Drive around in your Western hat. Gary Cohn and his family have been making them for 100 years, including for President Bush 41, George H.W. Bush, Shaquille O'Neal, Merle Haggard, among the men he's made hats for. I was going to get you one. If it was before Christmas, I was going to ask the Cohn family to fire up a Chucky cowboy hat.
I love Merle Haggard. You ever heard that song, Rainbow Stew?
You are Mr. Music, so I don't want you to dip into that. Spencer Ware with the first down carry. While we were in break, J.J. Watt left the field with 27-0, 10 minutes left. Watt has not come back on the field to play since being injured on that long opening drive in the 3rd quarter, that 94-yard drive that really took Houston out of any very slim hopes to come back here. Zone read keep by the quarterback, and Alex Smith slides down. He doesn't need a hit. 2 yards shy of a first down.
Always said Alex Smith's a member of the AAA club. You got to be able to audible. He sees Quentin Demps come down in a blitz position. He audibles. He changes the play, and Travis Kelce wins on a deep cross. Well done. Then it's the athleticism. His scrambling is a real problem for defenses, and he has arm talent, Mike, as displayed on the touchdown to Conley. 3rd down and 2. Can he finish?
Going to keep again here and get the first down. I would be limiting my hits on Alex Smith at this point. It's 27-0. We know he can do this. Let's bag the zone read for a little bit if you're Kansas City. But John, what a story for him. Looks like he'll get a 2nd playoff win of his career. May surprise some folks. Not Cam Newton, not Tyrod Taylor, not Russell Wilson, but Alex Smith 4th on this list at a Chiefs record 498 quarterback rushing yards in 2015.
And he's 31 years old, too, Mike.
Yeah.
What an athlete he is. When you evaluate quarterbacks, you can evaluate a lot of things. I start with, did they win? And that's what Alex Smith continues to do. I wonder what the 49ers are thinking, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, they're in a situation now, they don't know where they're going at head coach, their offensive philosophy with Gabbert and Kaepernick. Alex Smith had the 49ers on the brink of a Super Bowl, and I believe they were undefeated when he got hurt. And he was traded here to Kansas City. He's turned the Chiefs around. They were 2-14 the year before he got here, Mike. This man knows how to win football games. He checks his ego at the door. He's a preparation freak, and he's a great athlete.
Eight minutes to go. This is the fullback, Anthony Sherman, out of the backfield. Gain of a couple. John, you talked about that experience in San Francisco for Alex Smith. And what a journey it was. 8 years, the #1 overall pick, 7 offensive coordinators. But a hello, my name is tags in the meeting rooms with Alex Smith. But did get them to the 2011 AFC title game. They lost to the Giants in overtime and then lost that starting job. Colin Kaepernick replaced him after he suffered a concussion. You can't complain about what happened. Kaepernick did get them to the Super Bowl, the Harbaugh brothers against each other in New Orleans, that San Francisco lost at the very end of that game. And that's what gave the opportunity, if they were staying with Kaepernick, to move Smith. And what a place and the right coach he's found as well. On 3rd and 4, just going to take the sack here as he's thrown down by Whitney Mercilus. He made the decision not to throw.
Smart.
The covered Spencer Ware out of the backfield. It'll be 4th down.
That's a one-man screen. He saw the Texans, read it. He ate the football, and he's going to continue to use the clock.
But isn't that a part of, like, that play right there?
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh, like, beating his head. No interceptions. No interceptions. Right. And he's so good about taking care of the ball. That play, if it was an interception, is bad. This play is a heck of a lot better than that one. The punt.
When you're up 27-0, it's the only play, and that's what Alex Smith has done a great job of his decision-making.
That'll go down as a sack for Whitney Mercilus. That's his 3rd of the game. Rocket hit by Colquitt to the sideline, too.
Wow.
That's a professional punt.
Field position.
Wow.
Colquitt, this defense, and Alex Smith are the winning edge for the Chiefs.
That is Modern Family's Eric Stone Street, sitting next to Tammy Reed on the left there, in front of Clark Hunt, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, the CEO. His dad, of course, the Hall of Famer Lamar Hunt, passed away 9 years ago, one of the legendary figures in the league. And on the right, the founder, chairman, CEO of the Texans, Bob McNair, who brought football back here in 2002 after that 5-year absence when the Oilers left for Tennessee. Interception and the 5th turnover, 4th of the game, in the hands of Sean Smith. And he'll go down at the 21-yard line. And that's the story of the day. -4, and the turnovers for the Texans are +4 if you look at it from the Chiefs' perspective, as Hoyer has been intercepted for the 4th time in this wild card game.
Oh, he's wide open, Mike. Ball's just terribly thrown, and Sean Smith has the easy interception. Kansas City's defense has been outstanding, and Brian Hoyer has really struggled from the get-go.
5 turnovers for Hoyer today. Monday night, the national championship. Alabama and Clemson, 8:30 Eastern time on ESPN. Coverage all day. Coverage on all the networks, all different platforms. Todd Blackledge and I will join you on ESPN Radio for the call of that one, as Nick Saban tries to win #5 and get within 1 of the Bear. Tied with John McKay, Frank Leahy, legends in their own right, trying to win a 4th. For the team from Tuscaloosa, the Clemson Tigers try to have something to say about that. Look forward to the national title game. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit will have it for you on ESPN TV, 8:30 Eastern, a Monday night. And by Spencer Ware for a couple of yards.
Still, Mike, to put this in perspective, Kansas City was 1-5. And in NFL history, I don't know if anybody has gone 1-5 and reeled off 11 straight wins. They lost Jamal Charles. They played 5 weeks without Justin Houston. They're going to have to play without Jeremy Maclin potentially. There's Sean Smith. He missed the first 4 games, and Kansas City has overcome it all in incredible fashion.
Knile Davis gets a turn, a gain of a yard there. They win the 10 straight at the end of the regular season. No team had ever gone 1-5 and won 11 games. And then you'll add an 11th consecutive win here in the postseason, and that 22-year stretch without a postseason win. Stop that skid at 8. And so many of these guys weren't around for any of that, but they know about it. They feel that pressure, and they really feel, many of them, the game from 2 years ago against Indianapolis. They will take the confidence of a terrific defense either to Denver or to Foxborough next weekend. 3rd and 7. It's caught by Frankie Hammond. He's tackled at the 15-yard line, and we'll get another Cairo Santos field goal attempt.
You know, Mike, I remember coaching in Tampa. They said you've never won a game in below 40 degrees. You've never won a game when it's cold. And our players got tired of hearing about that. And we finally got that done. And even though you're not a part of those previous games, you want to get rid of these negative streaks. And I'm sure Andy Reid feels good about that. What a job he's done wherever he's been. I think his offensive coordinator, Mike, perhaps could be one of these up-and-coming head coaches, Doug Peterson.
Santos has made a pair from 49. A very ugly ad from 33 for a 3rd field goal, but it still looks good on the board. 30-0 Kansas City. Bracketing our coverage here, we'll have the GMC postgame on SportsCenter after the game on ESPN. John Anderson, John Butchergross are out in Phoenix, site of the College Football National Championship game. We got Steve Levy with Steve Young, Trent Dilfer, Ray Lewis here. All the analysis of the start of the game live as well. Set the table for that Cincinnati-Pittsburgh 2nd AFC Wild Card game today. And of course, tomorrow you will have Minnesota and Seattle in the cold. Game on NBC, and then Fox will have the late game with Green Bay at Jay Gruden's Washington Redskins in the playoffs. Our group is a family as we travel on the road, and one of our leaders for many years, going back to the start of the NFL on ESPN, Mike Chase, on that man right there in the hat. Chase is announcing his retirement and had an emotional moment in our camera meeting with all of our group before the game. Setting up the show, leader of the group, godfather of everyone on our crew, 4 decades, the NFL on ESPN. That man's been a part of it. We salute you, friend. We thank you for everything. Job well done. Next time Monday Night Football is on, feet up. Hope you're watching with a cold one, enjoying the great work of the people who you gave a lot of leadership to for many years.
No doubt. Talk about a highly motivated, hard-working man. He's a grinder. I'm going to give him a grinder. Can I give him something? Give the Chase side.
Thank you, Mike, and our entire crew as well, all season long. You see the Chiefs leading the fans who are here doing the tomahawk chop. It is a takeover of NRG Stadium by the Chiefs fans who made the 750-mile journey. Boyer fires, almost intercepted for a 5th time. It's broken up by Steven Nelson in the corner.
There's nothing on any of these throws. Boyer, who's had concussion problems this year, not throwing the ball well. That one fluttered out there and should have been intercepted. And miserable way to end the season. Storybook opportunity for Hoyer to take a team to the playoffs after his well-journeyed career, and it ends in silent fashion tonight.
Firing far side, incomplete. Intended for Jalen Strong. The last shutout in the playoffs was 10 years and a day ago. In the 05 playoffs, Carolina shut out the Giants 23-0. We've had 107 games since we've had a playoff shutout. You were part of the playoff shutout back in the day.
I was?
Yeah, you were.
Did I get shut out?
No, you didn't.
Oh, that's good. You got a lot of memories tonight, Mike.
I thought you'd immediately remember that. We started talking about it. You never forget these playoff games, all that stuff. Guy who kicked for you in the playoffs, 41-yarder by Leckler, returned by Hammond to midfield and into Houston territory at the 49-yard line. 3:10 remaining.
I got a statistic for you, Mike.
All right, I love it.
One that's going to come into play perhaps tonight and in the cold weather tomorrow in Minneapolis. In the playoffs, I think I've seen 370 consecutive extra points made. 370 extra points in a row have been made. But in cold weather with the ball moved back, the extra point change, the rule change this year could come into play. How about that?
Very good stat man.
Yeah.
You showed up 7 years ago. You didn't like stats. Now you got a pile full over here.
I'm going to miss you, man. We had a
It's been a
lot
year,
of fun,
pal.
didn't we?
It's been a lot of fun. Great season.
What a
Jay
crew.
Rothman, Chip Dean, our awesome Monday Night Football crew. It's been our honor and pleasure. We had the closest season of games in Monday Night Football history. Down the stretch, one-sided affair here in this wild card game. It's still a joy to be with our group for the last 20-plus weeks, and we've got one more. We'll say aloha to you from the Pro Bowl in a few weeks as Alex Smith's day is done and Chase Daniel is in at quarterback, the seventh-year man out of Missouri.
And Knile Davis just ran the ball off the right side. That's a big name in this game. Davis got the party started in Kansas City with a 106-yard return, and they have not looked back.
And by the way, while we're handing out accolades to our crew and stats as well, as Davis carries here, Steve Hurt and Alex Stern do a great job. The Elias Sports Bureau is the best ever at doing stats. The guys dug up this one. That kickoff return by Knile Davis, which started the playoffs, first play of the playoffs. It's the first time the NFL playoffs have ever started with a kickoff return for touchdown. 80-plus years that they've been playing postseason games.
We're going to take a break, come up with some more stats.
We're working, baby. It's 2 minutes left. Season ending for the Texans, continuing for the Chiefs. $30-0 here in the history of the NFL postseason. These are the only 30-plus road shutout wins. Bears watching a famous game, 1940. It's the Baltimore Colts against the Browns in 1968. It's the third time that would happen. If the score holds up, 30-0, and most of the 70,000 plus are gone, except for the Chiefs fans wearing red. You know, a lot of Texans fans who showed up in their red as well. Sammy Baugh in that 73-0 game, the Washington quarterback, had a pass drop for a touchdown. He was asked, what if that would have been held and impacted the game? And he said, well, then we would have lost 73-7 instead of 73-0.
You know, you look at Andy Reid and his coaching staff. I really put a premium on coaching, Mike, you know, as an ex-coach. But what a staff he has assembled here. We talked about Doug Peterson, his offensive coordinator, rumored to be a hot head coaching candidate. Bob Sutton, his defensive coordinator. Emmett Thomas, secondary coach. How about Dave Tobe, the special teams today?
Yep.
Kickoff return for a touchdown. 3 punts inside the 20. 7 touchbacks. They get it done in the meeting room with their coaching, too.
We'll take 2 knees and close this out. John, let's talk about Houston here for a moment. They're going to play a first-place schedule. They're going to play the Bengals and the Patriots in Denver next year. They play the NFC North. They have a tough schedule ahead. They'll play Kansas City again. They're going to be in the market for a quarterback, no doubt about it, in their offseason. Now look ahead for Kansas City as Bill O'Brien's season will end 9-7, first playoff game. But what about the Chiefs going forward, either to Denver or to New England next weekend?
Big loss in Jeremy Maclin. You lose Jamal Charles and potentially Jeremy Maclin. That's a big bite out of your skill on offense. But over the last 13 games, Mike, with this included, they've given up less than 12 points a game. You can ride that a long way, and Andy Reid knows it.
Trips to Houston have been good for the Kansas City teams in this great sports year in that wonderful city. World Series champ Royals beat the Astros in a memorable game here, and a playoff shutout for Andy Reid and the Chiefs over the Texans. 30-0 here today. Alex Smith gets a second playoff win, and he's standing by with Lisa Salters.
Thank you, Mike. Alex, in the second half, you guys really started to make it look easy. What kind of came together and started working in the second half?
I think a little bit just kind of identifying how they were going to play us. A lot of unknowns. It's been a long time since last time we played them, and just trying to see how they were going to treat some of our formations and personnel. You know, I think got some of that ironed out in the halftime and come out and made some adjustments.
What impact did that opening kickoff return? What impact did that have, just jump-starting everything?
You never expect to start a game like that, but that's what we feel like. We feel like we can play 3 phases of football, all 3 phases, and special teams coming out today and really giving us a kickstart.
Now, you're moving on, but it could be without Jeremy Maclin. Your thoughts on that?
We'll find out, I'm sure. But, obviously he's a huge player, tremendous player for us outside. Anytime a guy like that goes down, it's hard. It's hard. He's such a leader for us on and off the field. We'll see, though. Right now, obviously don't know.
And that's 11 consecutive wins now after starting 1-5. What is going on with this team?
I think it's just kind of everything. It's hard to explain. A little bit, like I said, I think it comes down to 3 phases of football. We got high-character guys that put in the time and sacrifice. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Congratulations on the win, Alex. Mike, back to you.
Thanks, Lisa. Great season. Number 1 overall pick, Alex Smith. He found that man, Andy Reid, and they're chopping their way to the last 8 in the NFL playoffs. Kansas City is moving on as he gets a kiss from his wife, Tammy. 30-0, our final score here. Stay tuned for the GMC postgame on SportsCenter coming up next on ESPN. When we come back to Houston, we'll reveal the wild card root and grind. It's been a presentation of ESPN and a Kansas City win in Houston in the playoffs again.